Okay, this week we're talking about preferences and app development. A lot of times apps will have you save certain preferences in the app, like username, password, email, uh, birth date, things like that. So I'll fire this up. This is what you're doing this week on an app called My Settings for week 10. And I'll walk you through how to create it. So this has already been set up with some data that I had in there saved earlier. I'll go ahead and change it though to something different. I will put a different name in here. I'll change the date from October to November 22nd, 2021. Save it. I'll go ahead and stop it. Run it again. And there's the date I just entered in. Don't think I. There we go. So it's Jim Smith, and then J Smith at Gmail, and then the date. I'll select that. November 23rd or 22nd, 2021. I'll save that. And there's all the data that's saved. So let's go ahead and look at the logic behind this, and I'll show you how to create it. So we've got two text boxes, then a module for date picker, and a save button. In the code, it has I bound the text fields, full name and email, date picker. In the BTN save, it checks to see if there is, uh, first of all, it defines the default user default standard with the word defaults. Then it takes whatever in the text full, text email, and binds it to that notification for date set, for default set. Then it formats the date that's been selected on the app, grabs it, and puts it in the date key called bdate. So the keys in are unique, and the user defaults they have to be unique. So the three keys used in this app are full name, email, and bdate. Then once it's finished, it does a defaults.synchronize, which saves everything, and then the clear button will go back into clear the text uh, and the full name. It'll basically get rid of that keyboard pop if there is one that's popped up. When the app runs, it's going to check to see if, or first default the definition for the defaults, which is user defaults dot standard. If the key full name is not nil, it's going to populate what's in the user defaults into full name. If email is not nil, it's going to populate email text with whatever's in the email data. Then if the date's not full or not nil, it's going to take the key, put it into bdate, format it by using the date formatter, and this, mmm that space d comma yyy will convert it to that month, day, year. Then it takes that B date and converts it with a date formatter, and then sets it to the date picker. So let's go ahead and run it real quick, and I'll show you how this works. Create a brand new project, and we're calling this project My Settings, but select an app first. So I already created one. I'm going to call this My Settings 2. Make sure it's storyboard and Swift. These two are unchecked on core data include test. Save it in the folder on your computer where you save your projects. Then we're going to go to the main. We're going to add in some objects. I'm going to first add in text field, dock it at the top. I'm going to go to the size inspector, make sure the width is 250, center it, and Command D will duplicate, put it right underneath the first one. Then add a date picker right below. We'll make the date picker the same width as the text by just clicking and dragging the left and right. I also want to go on the date picker while I'm in here and go to the attributes selection, select preferred style wheels. Let's go to current date, select custom. I want the minimum date to be today's date, 2040, or no, 1940, I'm sorry, 1940. And the max date, date to be current date, it's fine. But minimum date, I want to be 1940. Maximum date, I want to be this year, 2021. With 1/1/1940 and 12/31/2021. Then I want to add a button right below in the middle and center it. Double click and let's save. Let's go to the top text and let's go to the placeholder and put in full name. Next we'll put an email. Now for the code, I'm going to go to my last app to grab that. I want the, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and go and create the outlets and actions. So let's go ahead and go here and go to assistant. Let's hide our outline by clicking on the outline document icon here. Okay, so the first one is going to be TXT full name, TXT email, and then date picker, and then BTN save. So TXT email, TXT email, TXT full name, date picker, and BTN save. So this one is TXT full name. Put some space here. Do a control click drag. TXT full name. X. TXT email. Next. Date picker. Let's see here. No, all lowercase. Lowercase date picker. Then we're going to put in a button for BTN save, and it's going to be an action. It's also going to be a change any to UI button. There we go. Then we've got to bring in some code for the defaults to be saved. So I'm going to select all here. Before I do that, though, I want to create the clear function, which clears the text, resigns it. There we go. Now I'll go back to the button from line 19 to 28. I'm going to copy that, bring it over in. And again, this assigns the default to the proper full name, email, and B date, depending on the option they select, or not depending on what content's typed in. Then let's do the view did load. Copy all that. And I believe that's it. So I'm going to go back to the app I just created. I'm going to go to click on the view controller, then go to the editor, resolve all layout issues, reset to suggested constraints. Now let's run it. Oh, before we run it, sorry. I want to change the simulator from iPod Touch to iPhone 12 Pro X. There we go. All right, let's notice there's nothing in there right now. I'm going to put my name in here, email, and I'll change another day. We'll do October 21st. Oh, and I wanted this to be, I'm going to go back and change this. I'm going to hit save. I wanted this to be, I have this in the instructions for your assignment. I want this to be on mode, just date only. I don't want time. Forgot that. So date only, date, current date's fine, then the minimum date 1940, maximum date 2021. I don't see it. There we go. I'm going to change the date to something else, to like the 25th. Save it. Stop it. Run it. There it is. So that completes the tutorial on preferences. For the assignment, you'll be adding a few more fields to this for preferences. But that's it. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.